Okay, let's dive right into this. We're talking about a meditation that, honestly, seems like it's designed to break every single rule. It kicks off with chaotic breathing, then you're supposed to scream and let it all out, followed by intense jumping, a sudden, shocking freeze, and then it all ends with a celebration. It sounds less like any meditation I've ever heard of, and more like, well, a method for going completely mad.
So this whole thing takes a full hour, and it's broken down into these 5 really distinct and pretty physically demanding stages. I mean, this is a million miles away from the quiet, seated practice most of us picture when we hear the word meditation, right? It's active, it's loud, and from the outside it looks absolutely bizarre.
And that really brings us to the big question here. Why? Why on earth would anyone willingly put themselves through an hour of something so intense and, frankly, so strange? Well, the answer gets into a really interesting way of looking at the human mind.
To really get the why behind this method, you first have to understand the psychological idea it's all built on. And it's all about this barrier that we build inside ourselves, an internal Berlin Wall, if you will, that separates the parts of us we're okay with from all the parts we try to hide.
The core idea is this. Think of your mind like a giant iceberg. The part we see, our conscious mind, that's just the tip sticking out of the water, maybe 10% of the whole thing. The other 90%, this huge, powerful, unconscious part, is all hidden beneath the surface.
Yeah, that conscious mind, it's basically our personal PR department. It's the face we show the neighbors, the polite, everything's fine, normal version of us. But the unconscious? Oh, that's like the mind's junk drawer, or left luggage is a great way to put it. It's where we shove everything we don't want to deal with. The shame, the anger, all those repressed feelings and memories.
And the thing that keeps these two parts separate? That's this so-called Berlin Wall. It's not a physical thing. It's an energetic barrier. Our conscious mind has a little guard posted there, working 24/7, and it takes a tremendous amount of energy over our whole lifetime just to keep all that naughty stuff from bubbling up. It's the constant effort of pretending everything is okay. So right, if the wall is the problem, then what's the solution? You've got to break it down. And that's exactly what the first few stages of dynamic meditation are designed to do. It's basically a targeted assault on that inner barrier, trying to get past the conscious mind's defenses. And the main weapon here is chaos. The breathing in that first stage is specifically designed to be irregularly irregular. No pattern, no rhythm, just complete chaos. You see, our mind and our breath are usually totally linked. By making the breath go haywire, you basically overload the system. The little guard at the wall just gets overwhelmed, he loses the plot, and he can't hold the line anymore.
And once that wall starts to crumble, whatever's in the unconscious can finally come to the surface. This leads us right into stage 2, catharsis, or as they call it, exploding. But this is where a lot of people get it wrong. Many people think the whole point is just to, take out your inner trash for the week.
But that's not quite it. This quote from Dr. John Andrews explains it perfectly. Imagine your emotions are like steam building up in a kettle. The point isn't just to empty the kettle, it would just fill up again tomorrow, right? The real skill is to learn how to watch the steam as it comes out without getting scalded by it.
And that is the whole game changer. It's about developing this quality of being a witness. It's a state of neutral, uninvolved awareness. Normally, with an emotion like anger, we feel like we have two choices. Either we express it and maybe hurt someone, or we repress it and hurt ourselves. This technique is trying to build a third option, to simply watch it pass by, without getting all tangled up in it. You begin to see, hey, I'm not my anger. I'm the one who was watching the anger.
All right, let's get into the next stages. Because after breaking down the wall and learning to witness, this is where things really build towards this incredible peak of energy and awareness.
So, stage 3. For 10 minutes straight, you're jumping with your arms raised, shouting the mantra, who, who. The trick isn't to hammer the floor. It's about sending your energy up, almost like you're jumping on a trampoline. There's a story about a professional triathlete who found this stage incredibly difficult. Not because of a lack of strength, but because it's not about muscular power. It's about tapping into a much deeper well of pure energy.
Think about it like this. Could you keep your hands raised in the air for 25 minutes straight through the jumping and the freeze? Most of us would say, no way, that's impossible. But what if someone offered you $1 million to do it? Suddenly, that whole story in your head about I can't, it just evaporates. It was never a physical limit, it was a mental one.
And this shows that we all have access to these incredible emergency levels of energy. Imagine you haven't slept for a week, you're crawling to bed totally wiped out, and then your house catches on fire. You'd be wide awake, right? Full of adrenaline? This meditation is basically asking you to treat your own inner awakening with that same level of urgency. For your own aliveness, it's a life or death situation.
And then, after 30 minutes of all that intense, chaotic, energetic activity, you just stop. Instantly. You freeze in whatever position you happen to be in. The shock to the system is like hitting a tree in a car crash. Everything peripheral gets thrown to the edges, and what's left is this core of pure, heightened alertness. And in that sudden, deep stillness, a huge realization can hit you. You can hear your mind still chattering away, the logical part making excuses, the emotional part complaining. But you can hear them from a distance. And you realize, wait a minute, I am the one hearing this. I am separate from my thoughts. That's the breakthrough. I am not my mind. And if I am not my mind, I don't have to obey it.
So after all that chaos and intensity, what's the ultimate point? What do you actually take with you from this hour-long experiment when you step back into your day-to-day life?
The final 15 minutes are a celebration. You just dance. You express all this fresh energy and awareness that's been unlocked. It's not just a cool down. It's about consciously integrating this newfound aliveness so you can actually carry it with you throughout the rest of your day.
You know, this method isn't really sold as a lifelong daily chore. It's framed more as a short-term, high-intensity project. The idea is to go all in, give it your absolute total for a few weeks, and fundamentally reset your relationship with your mind. It's an experiment that has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
And this leaves us with the final thought. That 1-hour meditation is just the lab. The real experiment begins the moment you walk out the door. What changes in your life when you no longer have to live behind an inner wall? When you can witness your own mind without getting swept away? What happens when you learn to carry that peak energy and awareness with you, not just for an hour, but